What's up, everybody? My name is Shannon, and I am still waiting for my Satyr, and today we are talking about Incarceron by Catherine Fisher. So this book gets mixed reviews. It ranges wildly from, oh my god, this is the best steampunk book I've ever read, to, oh my god, what the heck even was this book? So going into it, I wasn't quite sure, but the premise sounded pretty cool. I mean, it is a steampunk world. We're in some kind of prison that is large beyond imagining. We don't know how these people get here. Is there a world outside? We don't know. They're looking for keys. Like, how are we going to get out? And if there is a world outside, then it's a Victorian world, and there's all this stuff going on, and the main character, Finn, is like connecting with this girl on the outside, and I don't know, there was all this mystery behind it, and it sounded really interesting. But upon starting the book, the problems appeared very quickly, and I want to start out with the praise for this book because the world building is pretty spectacular. I feel like you get a really good idea of the prison and how it is and how it's set up and what it looks like, and all that was really cool. Like, the imagery was very interesting, but the characters and the storyline, the plot, the pacing, it was just, man, I was dragging my feet through this book. The characters have no personality, no depth. I didn't care what happened to any of them. We don't get enough exposition. Like, exposition heavy is never the way to go, but we don't get enough to really understand what's going on, why people are doing the things that they're doing. A lot of the times characters were coming together and breaking apart in ways that I didn't quite understand because I didn't get their motivations, who they were, why they were together. They just seemed very robotic. There wasn't really anything going on. The main character, Finn, falls extremely flat. Like, anytime it switched to his perspective, I did not care for it at all. It was very, very boring. And then you get Claudia, who's the girl on the outside, and she's pretty cool. Like, I liked her relationship and the things that she was doing and the way she was acting. But again, her motivations really aren't clear, other than that she's trying to get out of an arranged marriage that she doesn't want to be part of. I don't really understand how she gets mixed up in this big grand plot, and she seems to find the key to Incarceron pretty easily. Like, everything just kind of happens and there's really no explanation for it. You're just supposed to keep rolling with it, and I found it all very unbelievable. It was all very hard to swallow, and just the big plot itself, there was all of these other things that were supposedly happening, but none of it was really fitting together. And especially all of the reveals that you get at the end were just really hollow because they seem to come out of nowhere. Like, you could never have predicted the way that it was going to go, which sometimes is interesting, but in this case, like, we just don't get enough information to understand what's going on. And I think that's because we're focused so heavily on building Incarceron that we don't get to live in it. Like, I don't understand why the people were living the way that they were living. I don't understand why this is a thing that needed to happen at all. I don't understand why Finn is there. I don't understand why anybody cares what's going on inside here or any of that kind of stuff. It just didn't fit together, and it was really frustrating, and I just found myself just not wanting to read this book at all. Like, every time I got in the car, I was like, oh great, I gotta listen to Incarceron again, and I just was ready for this book to be over. Now, I wouldn't say that I don't recommend it because it is interesting. I like the steampunk world, but there's so many other ways that it could have gone. It had a lot of potential, really, is what I'm trying to say here, because I feel like having it narrated from both Finn and Claudia was too much because they're so different. They're telling completely different stories that it didn't really seem like they overlapped, and trying to say that they did just made it harder to believe. I think if we had just gotten the story from Finn and worked on developing his character and developing the people inside Incarceron, we would have gotten a better story, and then maybe ended it with him finding Claudia, and that would have bled perfectly into the next book. But we don't get that. So unfortunately, that's a story that will never be told. Now, in the second book, for all I know, they get lots of character development, but unfortunately, you didn't sell it to me in the first book. I don't know who these characters are. I don't care about them. I don't care where they're going. The premise for the second book just seems really hollow and just as bad. Kind of seems like it's gonna rehash some stuff. So I, for one, did not enjoy it. I am giving this book a D-. I was going to give it just an all-out F, but the world building is pretty interesting and there was potential here, so a D- is where we're going with this. Would I recommend it? I don't know, I would say maybe check it out if it sounds interesting to you. Maybe you'll find more in it than I did, but overall it just was not an enjoyable read. But thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you liked it, be sure to hit that like button down below, and don't forget to subscribe so you can talk books with me every Monday. That is everything got for you today, guys. I will see you next time. Bye!